and it's about climate change and sustainability. And today with us we have Humairapa, the designer and owner of Anikini. We have Sankalitapa, sorry, from Circular Innovation. We've got Mustafa Bhai from Flow Solar and Sajid Bhai from Rancon Developments. But before we start, since this panel is about climate change and sustainability, I'd like to take a moment of silence for Dr. Salim ul Haq, a true champion and advocate for climate change in Bangladesh, and we've really lost a true hero.
Hi, I'm Humaira Khan. I've been a designer for the last 35 years. Being in the industry for 3 decades, I introduced Anikini, the new sustainable line.
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. I'm Sankalita Shom. I'm parent to a 6-year-old, and I'm also the founder of Circular Innovations. We deal with waste management. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I'm Mustafa A.K. Khan, the founder and managing director of Flow Solar and Flow Water as well. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Sajid Karim. I'm the managing director of Rancon Developments. We do real estate in Dhaka and Chittagong, commercial, residential real estate. Thank you.
Okay, so the first question for you guys. What motivated each of you to prioritize sustainability?
So, for a fashion designer to talk about sustainability is not the best topic. Yet, I thought fashion industry is all about fast fashion. And when we started designing, it was all about being visible in a new attire every single day. In the morning, whatever we wore, we couldn't repeat it in the evening. And this went on till the COVID hit us. We realized in Almiras, we only have full of hundreds of clothes we never got to wear. On top of it, these to maintain, to keep them was another expense. Then also we were all stuck home. So what do you wear? Do you wear all these synthetic tops, the Banarasis, or the artificial Zara pants? None of them were comfortable. So I started investing in cotton line, which is more wearable, breathable, and more natural material. And with that, the sustainability idea came into my mind.
I think for me, the journey for sustainability is like really personal. For the longest time, I was like, I don't want to become a parent because what kind of a planet are we going to leave behind? And that was my real concern, which my sort of peers used to sort of laugh off. Then when I became brave enough and I decided to become a parent, it was actually then that I said that since I'm so scared about this, I need to do something about this. And that was what motivated me to start Circular Innovations. Again, dealing with waste is something that I looked around and I saw what are the problems. I did a whole research, and then we sort of zeroed down on this fact that waste, by any calculations, we probably need 2 planet Earths to accommodate the amount of waste that we are generating. And that's the reason that we started Circular Innovation. So it's been a very personal journey, and every time there have been challenges, it's like my daughter, who's growing with the initiative, she's 6 now, is always what keeps me going. Yeah, thank you.
So I've been in the water business since 2011, and in 2017 I formed Flow Water. And in 2020, the idea for Flow Solar came when our water clients were primarily commercial and industrial clients, had roof space. So we thought, why not provide them 2 solutions in one? And, you know, protecting the environment came from thinking about a basic business idea of what does everyone need and can afford, and at the same time, you know, while you're doing good for the planet, you still need to make money. I think going green isn't just about sustainability. I think sustainability of the business is important. So that was a motivation to make money while doing good.
For us, we are in the business of developing property, houses, apartments, as well as office spaces, where most of us spend the majority of our days. And for us, it was very important. We took a conscious decision that we should do something to improve the quality of living in our developments and the quality of life that we can provide. Dhaka being such a congested, busy, polluted city, we always wanted our properties to be a sanctuary when you come back home, or a very pleasant environment when you go to work. So we looked at good practices from other countries, developed countries. We looked at introducing sustainable materials. We looked at introducing better designs and to create a better ambience in our properties. And all that actually, living well actually means that we are creating a sustainable environment, a happy environment for everybody to function. And that was our main motivation to look at sustainability and better living and wellness, and incorporate them in this in the places that we work and live. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for sharing, guys. The next question would be, what challenges have you faced in implementing green practices, and how have you overcome them? Because I know Bangladesh is probably not entirely there yet when it comes to green practices, so I'm sure you must have faced some challenges, and do you want to share those?
Brand. So when I started this cotton line, Anikini, which I was trying in my own capacity to work with local artisans and procure local materials, I found, there was not enough of local materials, and people didn't realize why would they pay for something as simple as cotton. So the education of materials and sustainable clothes, linen, was not there in Bangladeshi people. So that was one of the hurdles that I found with my brand. So anywhere else in the world, cotton is the most expensive, silk is the most expensive material. But in Bangladesh, they said, why would we pay the price? So that was one of the hardship that I found as an entrepreneur and a designer, that people wouldn't pay the price.
I'm going to try to speak louder than the music if it comes in. But for me, I think the challenges have been two. One is because, as I said, I deal with waste management. The moment you hear waste, you're like, oh, what is this? So, it's not like many people are very approachable or they really want to listen to you. And waste is something that you regard as a mandate of the city corporation or the waste collector who's coming. So I think one of the major challenges has been behavior change for me. So you in the park, you will see those blue bags. There's one right there next to the Unilever Pureit. So we are doing also the waste management here, trying to collect all the recyclables, all your dry waste. So I've been going round to all the vendors here and saying that when your customers come, do tell them, don't put the food in this cloth bag. Just put the dry waste or just the container in which you took the food, So, and that goes, this is just an example, but we also offer services of collecting the recyclables from the doorsteps of the households. So many times people say, oh, I can't be bothered to segregate, or my bua takes it away, my house staff takes it away. But they are only taking away your high value plastics. They are not taking away all the plastics, and which we take each one and make sure that it's recycled. So behavior change, running against a wall has been something, like, I think I speak a lot. I have to speak a lot to just get around one point. And second, as Mustafa said, very important point that he made is that even sustainability, to be sustainable, needs to make money, right? So my initiative is bootstrapped, but getting people to invest in it is a challenge because, as I said, it's regarded as a state mandate. and you require patient capital for it, not something that I can show you an your increasing rate of return, IRR. So it requires maybe blended finance, it requires people to work on different aspects of the entire circle. So yeah, these are the two challenges.
Thank you. I think the main challenge in the past has been for us two things. One is other sources of cheaper sources of energy like gas generators, a highly subsidized grid tariff, which made solar more expensive. But now, with the grid rate having gone up 15% just in the last year, and the IMF mandate of taking away subsidies to the tariff, I think solar has become the cheapest form of energy. And the other challenge we have faced is that people didn't believe that solar power was stable or a quality source of energy. And now BSTI and Shredda have put in quality standards, so solar plants are built to a much higher standard they were in the past. So we're using much more quality components. So I believe we are changing people's minds because the energy mix towards renewable energy is well underway. So thank you.
For us, one of the challenges that we face is that when we want to change or bring sustainability or wellness or green living across into we find that the industry is, as a whole, is not aligned. While it's improving, many developers and owners are aligning to the vision, but we find that the industry as a whole has a long way to go. Rehab, our governing authority, needs to step up. And as Mustafa and the others have said, that sustainability and bringing new technology into living is not cheap. So we also have a lack of fiscal incentive from the government as far as property development goes. So these are some of the challenges that we face. But having said that, I feel that there's a lot more awareness now than there was a few years ago. And people are becoming conscious. People want to live in a cleaner, healthier, greener city. And we are all coming together to improve the quality of life that Dhaka city has to offer. Thank you.
Have you found ways to collaborate with other industries, like companies within other industries, and has that been challenging for you, or like easier? Like, do you get to talk more about the environmental impact, and does that help you sort of partner up in different ways too?
Sorry, I can go for that. In fact, to share a personal experience, so when I started Circular Innovations, that was in 2020, early 2020, when we were at the peak of COVID. And as I said, it's bootstrapped, so at some point of time, you run out of capital. And I did pause my operations, but then the collaboration really helped. Because there's another outfit called Let's Recycle. They were doing this, but not really doing this kind of a thing. So we decided to collaborate, and today we are here together actually. So I genuinely feel that collaborations are the way, because you don't, and I have heard of so many startups in the waste management space which have started up and then had to fold operations. Because as I say, they are probably ahead of their time. They are not getting enough traction, or they're not getting enough people to come and support them. So in this kind of a space, it's very important to sort of collaborate. So my experience with collaboration has been really good, and I think that even in terms of like, so for example, I was just talking today at the stable that I have, and there's a person who came and said that they do a lot of ocean cleanups. They've done a lot of ocean cleanups in St. Martin's Island and stuff. And then I asked them a question that, what do you do with all that waste that you've taken out of the oceans? And they said, no, we just put it on the land, in the landfill. So I said, that's where we could come in, because we know what to do with the waste. We will make sure that it's recycled. So see that again, the power of collaboration, because okay, you have the expertise to clean up the ocean, you have the strength to clean up the ocean, but then are you taking it to its logical conclusion by actually making sure that all that you brought out from the ocean landfill is not going to the land landfill, but is getting recycled? So I think collaboration is important.
I think collaboration is very important for us to scale, because I think in our business there are many stakeholders, not just the clients, the communities. Financiers play a very important role. I think you spoke about blended finance. I think that's absolutely critical, because in some sustainability initiatives there is something called viability gap funding, and which means it's not financially viable, but it's socially viable, economically viable. And actually on this thread we are trying to do a project in Chattogram to serve about 500,000 people with sewerage connections to their homes. And that scale of work requires a lot of collaboration. Like, only one company cannot pull off something so major, so you need the government's involvement, you need a consortium of partners who are pushing to develop such a thing. And then making sure that people are aware what that service is, and are willing to pay for it. And if they're not willing or able to pay for it, then we have to find that money somewhere for it to remain sustainable. So yeah, I think collaboration is absolutely key to make any sort of impact.
No, absolutely. Carrying on from what Mustafa said, is that collaboration has to be the way forward. And with the awareness rising across several industries in Bangladesh now regarding, and Bangladesh is one of the leaders when it comes to climate change, and our government has also taken an initiative. So I see a positive mindset when it comes to sustainable living. And there are many industries which are coming up, like for example what our fellow panelists are doing, waste management and solar. These were not happening 10 years ago. So there's certainly a consciousness. I think it's becoming more and more viable for people to do business. There have been support from agencies, government and private sector also. So I think that awareness leads to collaboration, and we are on a positive trend when it comes to that.
All right, those were really interesting. So at Dhaka Flow, for example, I just want to highlight some things. We have different pillars that we focus on as a startup or as a community, and one of them is sustainable energy, because it's not just about holistic wellness and healthy living. We also want to promote healthy living within our planet, and we want to promote care for the environment and the planet. So the planet's health and wellness is also really important to us, which is one of the reasons we chose to do this festival at the park. And we have also incorporated really strict rules which said no PVC and no plastic waste here. So I mean, I don't know if anyone can hear me all the way from here, but I'd like to thank all the vendors that have abided by those. But these are just some of the ways we want to engage the community, and also like inspire them to practice all of these things that we value within our within Dhaka Flow. So how do you do that within your, like, what kind of engagement do you include within your industry, and maybe even personal habits that or practices that you incorporate that might have environmental impact, positive environmental impact?
Well, to start with the stalls and the vendors, I have a stall here which is called Anikini. So when we heard that please don't bring any plastic boxes, which is usually the storage boxes, I right away instructed my people to use the carton boxes. And instead of any kind of plastic and waste, I did ask them to bring the old glass bottles we have for the water. So these are the small instructions as a entrepreneur I give my people. In my factory, we use filters to buy water and use the classic wine bottles to store water in the fridges. For me, the designer, I started, repeating my outfits as a sustainability, buy less, invest more in premium quality clothes that you can wear again and again, and timeless pieces. As a fashion designer, I thought when I started speaking about not spending your money every day just on cheap clothes, just to be seen and look differently, invest in your personality. So in a way, for me also, this was a awakening from within. How do I make a difference? What can I do? One of this is something I have to show you, since we are in a whole day program. Some of this it might be very small for a lot of people. This is a personal thing that I started doing. If I have to be in an event like this for the whole day and I need to go to the washroom, I would rather, I'd be gathering all the tissues and try to wipe the, seat. I said, this is a waste. What do you do? How can you help this? I want to be clean and use the bathroom. So I invented a zero waste system. I will just show you. Just note, please. You hold it so do you know what it is? This is just a newspaper that we use every day, and I started using this when we had common bathrooms in my factory, and with everybody. I didn't have an exclusive bathroom for me, so I would use the paper and cut it and put it in my bag, in my designer bag, that's okay, and use it. So ladies, whenever you're abroad, whenever you're thinking, just don't waste. Again, invest in something like this, which is probably will be lined with plastic. You can always reinvent, reuse, and use whatever is available within your capacity. If you need to buy something that is for your education, for your child's well-being, and invest in these kind of startups. That's my way of doing things.
I think sustainability to also sustain, apart from the fact that it should be profitable, it's very important that the younger generation are really tuned into this. So what we at Circular Innovations do, we conduct a lot of awareness sessions. We work with a number of schools, like underprivileged schools, where we offer free sessions on awareness. They have in fact participated in a lot of collection programs where they've collected plastics from their homes and got it. So we work a lot with schools, and both kinds of schools, whether it be the underprivileged or regular schools, what you want to call them. But one of our major lines of work, I would say, is working with the newer generation.
For us, we were chosen in the first cohort of GRI reporting, the Global Reporting Initiative, which tracks actually the sustainability of each part of your business and requires you to report those numbers publicly. So for us, and it incorporates our entire business, so from supply chain to human resources, gender, engagement and equality, all of these metrics are tracked. So having decided to kind of sign up for this, we are voluntarily reporting, or will be reporting our matrices and how are we improving on them year on year. So that is the way we are taking it forward and making it quite structured in that sense.
For us, our industry is not regulated by there are no regulations which which are mandatory to follow when we develop and build. So we have to self-regulate. We have to put an effort. We have to put our resources into building things which we think are environmentally and sustainable, socially aware, and all that. So we spend a lot of effort in research and development. We are constantly looking at ways to improve the process of building, the use of materials, the energy efficiency in our buildings and all that. But one thing I'm personally very keen, and I spend a lot of my time when we build things, is the ambience and the environment that we want to create in the spaces that we develop and sell. I believe that while materials and everything is very important, but one's own happiness, wellness, calmness, peace at home, energy at work, everything is very important. So we focus a lot on that in the design stage, in the conceptual stage. So this is where we actually really put in an effort to be able to deliver products which would make you happy, basically, which would make you happy and feel good about yourself.
Nice. What are some of the positive impacts that you've had? Like, I remember, Sajid Bhai, you were mentioning the Zen gardens and your buildings, and you were telling us about the power that you've got. And then what positive changes might you have had, even within like a small space that's like with your employees or within your home?
Well, through my journey, I think, especially during the COVID time, my interaction with my workers made me realize one thing. This is on a different level. They would say, yeah, when I was like, everybody did not attend the factories. The whole 2 years, I attended my factory every day. This was uncalled for. And within this place, I would be wearing the mask and my workers wouldn't be. And you know why? They would say, COVID is a Barloker Oshuk. And I would say, why would you say that? Well, I listened. Data that seemed, what was the truth behind it? When we would hear in every day, few of the people that we knew were dying right, left, and center. These people kept on working. None of them seemed even to sneeze. So what were they doing right that we didn't? It is as simple as eating right, eating local purchase food, climbing up the stairs, using just natural products, and probably less of anxiety, less of proving themselves, like Sajid said, to the mental health. They were happy with whatever they had. They did not need to climb the Everest to prove a point. They didn't need to have a Rolex to see their time. They just went by the universe. When the sun rises, they rises. When the sun goes down, they relaxes. So the whole approach brought me the awareness. I kind of stopped buying processed food for myself, kind of stopped processed shampoos to use on my head, and I start using barrier lotion. So these are the things I did. I do not know whether I look good or not, but I see my maids have much longer hair than me. I see them having much glowing skin than me. So I started using Narkel tel, which is locally produced, not olive oil. Shorsha tel de ranna kori. I don't have any gastric. For my age, I don't have any health issues, apart from genetically some sort of cholesterol. But, doing some yoga, which is in our prayers also we do, in a kind of movement. So I learned that sustainability, going green, has to come within our own practices. And as Shankalita mentioned, when I started telling my girls, my workers in homemates, please separate the plastic waste, they wouldn't understand. Then you know what I did? I stopped actually in between and I asked my girls, since they were not interested, they thought it was an extra effort. I said, why don't you collect it at the end of the day and sell it after the weekend? From then on, the plastics were used in the right places. So, as you said, it has to be profitable in every aspect. I try to encourage. I try to use recycled products, packaging, as less packaging as possible. Tissue, toilet tissue is totally replaced by newspaper. And I mean, even if you go to the restaurants, you will say the moment you pick up, the waiters come and in front of you use 4 of the napkins to wipe off just the leftovers. Why not use the old school cloth or newspaper? That's how I've been trying to make a difference. I feel better with myself.
Uh, in terms of the impact, I think if I were to talk about numbers that my initiative has done, I think it would be first and foremost would be we recovered 600 tons of plastic waste over the last 2 years from the environment. We've also steadily increased the number of households too. 3 is my marketing spiel is now shorter because people now are more aware already of what I'm trying to say. You know, first is to be an uphill task of telling people what I'm doing, why they should do A, why they should do B. Now it's like much shorter because people are already aware. So I think that's definitely an impact I would count it as. In terms of like impact, which is not so easily seen, I would say is like, as I said, that I had to pause my operations as an entrepreneur. And I got a lot of requests. I was bombarded literally that why did you stop? You know, and I think that till then I was like, nobody cares. You know, I'm putting in my money, I'm putting in my efforts, nobody cares. But that moment when I did stop and all this bombardment that I got, I realized no, people do care. So that was the impact, I think, and that sort of motivated me to restart by partnering with Let's Recycle. That's another impact. And very small things, like I said, we conduct things for the schools. So when students, like one of the students in the slum school came and said that now every morning when my dad goes out, he picks up the litter. If he sees a plastic in one of the litter, you know, the bags and all, he picks that up and he brings it home, and I'm cleaning it up and keeping it so that I could make the eco bricks out of it. So that just really warmed my heart, you know, so that the message is going across and the students are not only keeping it to themselves, spreading it among the community, spreading it in their families with their relatives. So those are the small impacts, I think, that make a larger difference rather than the numbers I mentioned earlier. Thank you.